Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching and or listening to another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of geek news, reviews, and answers that you can use. Like an answer to the question, when you buy a PS4, what do you expect in a PS4 box? I only found out about this because John Prosser from Front Page Tech, channel uses you should also subscribe to the channel and follow John. I've got a live audience in studio today. If you could call this a studio, workshop, home office, whatever, I am trying something new today. Cluttering up my desk with equipment and tools that apparently make me sound better, even when I'm using air quotes, which you may not be able to hear if you're listening to the podcast. Don't throw anything at me, Liz, because if you do, it's mine. And if it doesn't match the workshop decor, it goes in the trash or gets donated. So it's up to you. And don't even think about it. It's a writing instrument, and I have plenty of those. People don't read things that are written anyway these days. Yeah. So apparently, what was it? A woman bought a PS4 and Target. Got it. Well, yeah, she was on Target, and it was a box full of. It wasn't a PS4. To find out what it was, because I'm guessing, John, you're going to be covering this in Front Page Tech. Am I correct?
At some point.
Okay, there you go. That's
in my life, I'm sure.
John, I'm trying. Hang on. I'm trying to throw you a bone here, and what do you do? I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it. It's a good story.
I might care about it in 5 minutes. I might not.
Well, suffice to say, now that everyone's gone to Google to look it up, the PS4 was not in the box. Not that it would have done the woman a lot of good, because getting online and not being able to play. What, John? I really need to stop having people in the vicinity of me when I'm talking, or trying to at least. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This simulcast is happening live on YouTube, as well as an audio recording for our podcast. We're doing something, as many of you have been aware, if you've been paying attention, if you've had time. TLDR will be live broadcast, as it has been. We've got a few people who are watching it happen live, kind of like a little chat room, though it's not really a chat room. People are chatting, they're commenting. It's nice to have this micro community of sorts. It's very trusted. So TLDR is broadcast live. You could watch it after it's broadcast live. And the nice thing about seeing it when it's broadcast live is you get no ads. So if you don't want to see ads with the content that I'm doing for you, well, all you got to do is become one of the super nomies, aka patrons. And it's the same thing with the Q&A with you and me, these videos that I'm doing every day. You get them ahead of time, and you get them without ads. So just some more bonuses we're throwing your direction, especially if you choose to support us in that particular way, which is nice if that is the thing that you happen to decide to do. We like to believe that we're worth $2 a month. Not many things are, really.
That's a toonie in Canada.
Oh, it's a toonie in Canada. We have Canadian listeners and a Canadian in the room. I don't know if I was supposed to say that. I can say you're Canadian, right? I think Liz has got a problem with patriotism, or what do you call it in Canada? Nationalism, patriotism. Well, I don't know. Maybe something different. Maybe you throw a U in the middle of the word. She's got Canadian flags all over her laptop. Like, we need to know. I wonder which country Liz is from. Could it be Canada? With this maple leaf. Or maybe you just have a fascination with maple leaves. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy, I want to remove stickers from things, unless it's a logo, in which case I'll put a sticker over it. Usually, that's how it goes. So, you're wondering, well, where's the other geek news? Well, this is the beginning of a new year. It's towards the end of a week, and there really is no news. The biggest news that I saw today, myself, was that the U.S. box office, as an industry, has hit its lowest level in 19 years. A low level. And that's about as long as it's been since I've wanted to see a movie in the theater. About 19 years. No, that's obviously an exaggeration of sorts. But I'd say it just speaks to something that I've talked to recently. I just as soon wait, if I can. Because I'm just not willing to risk spending my money on something that I don't know I'm going to get that much out of it. So, for example, you go to see a movie for $10, $15, maybe you buy snacks. What you've gone to support that movie, you saw that movie in theaters, big screen, for an hour's time. Maybe you enjoyed that movie, but how many times have you gone to the theater and felt burned because you just didn't enjoy the movie? And that seems to happen to me more often than not. And it doesn't mean that I don't choose to spend my money on content, because I do all the time. I support content creators of all kinds. And very happy to see movies and any kind of programming that might cost money in one way, shape, or form. But it's the value of that theater experience that I don't know I necessarily see right now. There's too many things that I've gone to see that I feel I could have watched on TV, that I feel did not live up to the hype, that I feel I could have saved a lot of money on and enjoyed just as much, even though I knew I was going to spend money in one way, shape, or form. So it just seems with this stat that I am not the only person who thinks this way in relation to a lot of the media that's being produced, in the way that I choose to support it, in the way that other people may choose to support it. Wow. A 19-year low. Will movie theaters keep slipping away? I don't know. I don't think movies are going to stop being produced. I think it's a problem that a lot of people who produce content have. And I've talked about this as well. We no longer have the issue of scarcity. And this is something that I think has to be factored in to these statistics. When I was younger, which was a long, long time ago in a galaxy not so far away, we couldn't just watch something when we wanted to watch it. We watched it on somebody else's schedule. We didn't have the ability to record. We had no ability to time shift. These are new technologies that have helped us, get to more of the content that we want to get to on the time that we want to get to the content. That's something that has to be factored in. Scarcity doesn't exist. There's so many things you could be paying attention to right now. So that's why I'm very, very grateful that you're choosing to spend the time that you're spending with me now, or with us, listening, watching, sharing, whatever. That's very, very valuable. That attention is the most valuable thing you have. But money is not the most valuable thing you have. It's the attention, what you spend your time on, because you can't get that time back. So we're no longer living in an age where there's not a lot to see. Or even if there was a lot to see, we couldn't get to everything. We don't have that problem. It's just not an issue. And I believe that traditional media is still functioning along that model, with the mindset that scarcity still exists, and it doesn't. Granted, the only way to see one particular movie is to see it, as it's, available to me. So if I were to want to see Guardians of the Galaxy, I would have to go about seeing it in some kind of licensed or legal way, or at least that's how I choose to do it, because I don't believe that I don't think it's right to cheat the system. Use whatever word you want to use. Either way, you're circumventing a system that was put in place, and I believe that the people who put their effort into something deserve to get what they've asked for. And that's the way the system works, because once you start cheating the system, then problems start cropping up, and it's really, I think, a moral issue. Forget about legality. I think it's a moral issue, and when it comes to cheating systems. So I tend not to like to do that. So that's one of the reasons I don't. The traditional media industry is kind of in this chasm of knowing all these technologies are circumventing what they've put in place, predicated on a model of scarcity and control, and that control just doesn't exist. Or, to put it to you another way, we don't just have one thing to pay attention to these days. I grew up in a time when we had, let me see here, 4 TV stations. When a 5th one came along, wow, unbelievable. 4 TVs, 4! That was it. That was it. No way of recording, no way of, 170,000 channels and nothing on, right? 4 channels. That's scarcity. And I believe that through technology and through advances in publishing, services like YouTube have given rise to a different mindset and value to the content that's being produced by everybody, whether it's someone like myself, someone like John. We're just doing it because we like talking about these kinds of things. We're able to, carve out a career around our passions and interests. But everybody's kind of playing in the same field. You spend time listening to me, or you spend time listening to something else, or doing something else, or watching something else. And attention is getting more and more scarce because there's a lot more people that are producing content on a regular basis. But I think the media industry is still very, very, very ripe for disruption. And this is, to me, this is the biggest news of the day. And I've talked about this before. Hang on. Here's my topic. Skick. There you go. glows, the LEDs. I'm beating the topic. Got to be careful not to pound the table because I guess I don't have a quote-unquote shock mount. I don't know what that is. It was shocking to me to find out that I needed a quote-unquote shock mount. I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's the audio industry trying to sell me product that I don't really need. Shock mount. Never needed a shock mount in my life. Conspiracy indeed. Go get the tinfoil. I'll just put it on my head right now. That's what I'm gonna do. Twitter, in case you wanted to talk about something that was slightly less interesting or more interesting, I don't know. But I know you use Twitter, and if not, you probably should be, if only to keep up on what's going on. The problem I've had with Twitter from the beginning is it is a different kind of problem than most people have. Liz came in to the workshop this morning and said, I don't know if you experienced this because I think you use things differently than we do, but our phones exploded because of all the notifications that we got on Twitter last night or this morning when they woke up. Because I have to turn off just about every form of notification, otherwise my battery would last a half hour, no matter which phone I was using. Even if it was advertised as a all-day battery, my notifications just, they don't work for me. And it's great. It's a great problem to have. I'm so very grateful for that. But Twitter's had that problem where someone will tweet me, someone will reply, and I won't see it. Someone will post something that I might find interesting, but I won't see it because it's tweeted and gone. It's a constant flow. And rarely, if ever, do I visit someone's Twitter stream. Unless I'm looking at their profile for the first time or curious as to where they are, and rarely am I don't look. So I don't really expect other people are going to look at my tweet stream. Because you're probably following dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of others. Twitter's got that problem. Facebook's got the same kind of problem that they're trying to address in a different way. The way I've gotten around that is by getting an email notification, specifically like a digest over the past hour of mentions or replies that I might get to any one of the accounts that we might be using. And that's helped to be able to have those email digests. Not as easily actionable as they might be on Twitter, but that has been the most help I've had in keeping up with what might be going on Twitter, so that I don't miss something that you've done. You know, we're going through and we're favoriting when you share the links that we've created or the content we've created. We're favoriting those, retweeting, resharing. So thank you again for all that. So Twitter has a new feature that they're trying to roll out while you were away. It's a recap feature, and many users are getting this. I've been the type of person to want to use defaults. Twitter.com used to be the primary way that I kept up with tweets. Then I got used to the new TweetDeck after they rebuilt it. I was not very happy with it being built in Adobe Air. As a platform, Air made sense. Unfortunately, it was riddled with so many performance issues that I just couldn't use it. It was just, it was completely unusable as far as I was concerned. Many people disagreed, but once they moved to different code for TweetDeck, I moved to TweetDeck, and that's generally how I'll manage watching Twitter or engaging with people, on Twitter on a daily basis when I'm sitting in front of a classic computer. On my phone, well, depending on which phone I'm using, on an iPhone, I might use Tweetbot. On an Android device, it's usually just the Twitter default client, which I never really liked on any platform. Twitter, I don't think it did a very good job when they acquired the code. I believe the current Twitter client was based on Tweety, which I registered. I bought that client 99 cents. Wasn't that Tweety? I want to say it was Tweety. It's been so long. Tweety. They bought the client. And I think they messed it up. They didn't do a very good job with the user experience. UI is fine, but the UX is, ugh. Tweetbot's not awesome, but it's the best Twitter client I've found for iOS, at least on an iPhone. They haven't really updated their iPad app, maybe because they just didn't get a lot of users with Tweetbot on the iPad or for the iPad. So it'll be interesting to see how that's rolled out, the while you were away recap feature. I'm still waiting for animated GIF support in TweetDeck. It doesn't really support it natively. They've got a few bugs that they need to address because TweetDeck is now owned by Twitter as well. That was an acquisition. And the modifications they've made with TweetDeck, I think, have been fine. It'll be interesting to see how the while you were away feature will work, because if it becomes not useful, like I've begun to unfollow some people that I've friended on Facebook because I like them as a person and I want to stay connected with them, but the status updates they post are quite honestly kind of boring, like pictures of cats. I'm like, really? Pictures of cats? I'm just not interested at all. That's not what I want to see when I log into Facebook. I just see, to me, that it just lowers the experience. So I had to find new friends. Is basically what it boiled down to. I didn't have to. Pictures of cats just don't thrill me. I'm not a cat guy. Sorry, Liz. Now, if you like cats, you need to be following Liz. That's what you got to do, because PK, just it's what you gotta. It's a cat. Then again, without cats, what would the internet be? Really, it's people like Liz that you have to thank, because without her, the internet would be nothing. It's just I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to sit idly by. And she pokes fun of me too. She said, "Well, I posted on my Facebook feed, which you would know if you were following me." See, that's how you say something sarcastically. That's a sarcastic tone. There. Canadian sarcasm. It's the same thing as American sarcasm. It just has a lot more U's in it, randomly placed within words. So that's it. Really, these are the two big stories, apart from the PS4 story, that I thought was going to be interesting, that John may or may not ever talk about. Those are the most interesting things that are happening today. So I've got to do my workshop tour. Had a couple people ask, "Hey, when's the workshop tour coming out?" I do it every year on New Year's. Haven't recorded it yet. I'm thinking I'm going to just record it on the phone and have the torch on, so that I can show you every nook and cranny. Last year, I'm looking forward to this, but last year, I wouldn't say I got so much hate, but I think too many nerds just got upset because they didn't like what I liked. I'm like, oh, sorry. I look at technology as they're tools, right? And certainly I got this computer behind me here, and I got a computer that I'm streaming into and hopefully recording into as well. John, let me check that.
Did you ever hit the button?
I don't know if I ever hit the button. I hit the button.
Okay, good.
This is the problem, John. What did I tell you the other day? The more buttons Chris has to push, the more likely a button's not going to get pushed. That's pushing my buttons. I went through last year and really redid everything, because to me, just leaving tech lying around is kind of like leaving a hammer and a screwdriver and a wrench lying around. They're just tools. That's all. And do I need a hammer? Yeah, when I need a hammer, when I need to nail something, I use the hammer. But it's a tool. I don't. Some people love tools. That's awesome. I'm not someone who loves tools. I use tools. And I love what the tools do for me. But there's a difference between loving the tools and loving what the tools do for me. And I kind of view technology the same way. So I realized this not long before last year's home office / workshop tour. A lot's changed since then, but much changed that last time, where a lot of the junk, because honestly it was junk. It was gadgets that worked once and then broke, batteries died, there were problems, bugginess, no longer useful. You see gadgets, you buy them, you think they're amazing, and use them once or twice, and then you forget about them, because they're tools, right? So I had a lot of that junk lying around, and just got rid of it. I'm like, why am I elevating this? This is what I care about? I don't care about junk. So I care about collectibles, and so I decided to surround myself with things that I love, and things that I like, and things that aren't going to die, things that are going to be valuable and treasures to me. And a lot of that in my workshop is Darth Vader, which is good if you're a Star Wars fan. If not, I don't care. I care about you. I just don't care if you don't care about the things that I like. There's a difference. So expect a lot of Darth Vader, of course, in the workshop. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. The one thing that is going to happen, though, on Monday, the ceiling upstairs is going to get replaced. We had, as many of you caught in the vlog, some problem with the air conditioner, the coil leak, condensation. We had some damage, so they're replacing a lot of the ceiling. So a lot of how things are laid out right now in the workshop on the top shelves is going to be redone by next week. So that's going to change. So this is as you see this workshop, the next workshop may look different, at least from that part on up. It continues to evolve. Thinking about getting rid of some of the extra monitors that were connected to the iFinity computer, which I no longer have. It was a donation. And so I'm probably going to be donating those widescreen monitors to some of the patrons. There's a bonus at one level where I just give things away. That may be a possibility. I'll give it to some of the patrons. Give the 3 monitors over there to some patrons. They may be Gnome Decks giveaways. We're going to be doing a geek event. Geek and Nerd Omni Media Expo. I think, John, you wanted me to use Gnome Decks, didn't you?
Yep.
I didn't want to use Gnome Decks. It didn't make any sense to me. And then I thought about it. See, John makes suggestions, and I think, no! And then I think about it, I'm like, damn it, he's right. That you should, you know.
I'm still waiting on Raising a Jedi. We gotta use it.
That's not gonna happen. Raising a
We gotta
Jedi is
use it
not
for
gonna happen.
something.
You can use it as a title. I'm not gonna. I don't want to use Raising a Jedi. It's nice. It is nice. It's cute. It is cute. It is
Cute
adorable.
Isn't the word. Brilliant. Is
Okay,
The word.
and then what happens when Jedi is 21? I'm no longer raising her. Then what happens?
I said that, and you're like, John, I'll be raising that girl for the rest of my life.
Oh,
So
well,
which
I already
one is
have
it?
the answer. I don't think it'll work. Because then what happens? We had another kid, or
Raising a Jedi
okay. And a Jimmy. I don't know what the hell I'd name
Start a
another
new
kid.
show. That's
A new show. Why? Because why not? Right. We're not producing enough video right now. Let's just start a new show.
Every kid start a new show.
Oh boy. So I like. It's a good title. I like the title. It rolls, but I don't
If
know.
you don't take it, someone else is.
Well,
Probably
let 'em.
today, since
Let
you
'em.
said this.
Let him raise a Jedi,
Mhm.
but the child has to be named Jedi.
Yeah.
That's an absolute.
Yeah.
But I doubt they would,
Why do you say that?
because it's bold.
That's bold.
It's bold, not italic, not underlined. It is bold. Someone, I guess, was upset that yesterday's TLDR was only 21 minutes long. And why was it 20 minutes long? Well, because we had nothing to talk about at the end of the year. So I am going to unbox this Hero Mashers. This was a present from Santa Claus. Electronic
I vlogged that.
Oh, I'm glad you did. Look at Optimus's head. It's already fallen off. Ah, so there we go. So this will appease everybody. It's electronic. It's a toy. It's nostalgic. I had no idea this series existed, but I like Optimus Prime. He's pretty iconic. I don't know if I'd say he was my favorite Transformer necessarily. It's quite nice. Oh, screws, not glues. Look at that. Takes batteries. Got to be careful with this stuff. I'm not really a fan of battery-operated things because inevitably I'll forget to remove the batteries, and they say you should remember to remove the batteries. There are his shoulder pads. Shoulder pads? I don't know. Foot?
From a football player?
He must be. Boy, this is more than just a Transformer. This is like a puzzle set to put together. Okay. There's Optimus Prime, a ball head. Can I get it? How do I? Hang on. Get that on there right. Can I get it on there? There we go. All right. There's Optimus Prime, hero in disguise. But I don't know if he transforms necessarily. He might not transform. Boy, he's got all sorts of weapons. Look at that. Ooh. I forgot his shoulder pads. Anyway, Optimus Prime. You will see him as I assemble him for the workshop tour. I know where I'm going to be placing Optimus Prime in the workshop as soon as I assemble it after TLDR is done. That's really all I had today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the last night's 3-hour live stream where we ate as much as we could eat our fill of baby carrots, at least in our mouth. And I made Liz throw up. I made John throw up as well, or at least gag.
Yeah,
I don't know if he went as far as
gagging.
throwing up. We laughed, we cried, and we rang in the new year 2015 with
Three
you.
or four times we did it.
Well, yes, for each, I would say each coast,
Yeah.
but there's really no coast in the middle of the U.S. For each time
So
zone.
we did it 3 times, I think.
4.
3? Did
4? I think we missed
Or
one.
we- yeah.
Eastern.
We missed Mountain.
No, we didn't miss Mountain.
Which one we Which one did we miss? We missed one, didn't we? No, I guess we
No,
didn't.
did
So then it would have been
Eastern,
4.
Central,
Yeah,
Mountain, and-
4.
What
Then
was
it would be
that?
4. So
I
there
forgot
you go.
Newfoundland. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, Newfoundland. Sorry,
Newfoundland.
that's what I said. Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Lound. It's the U. It's the U in there that's throwing me off. Really, I don't understand.
It's spelled N-E-U or N-E-W-E-N-D.
Helvetica New. What is
How is that spelled? N-E...
N-E-U-E? New. New. N-U-E-U.
I think that was it.
N-U-E-U-E. Ennui. That's a word. Ennui is a word.
Yeah, it is a word.
I don't know if you knew
French.
that it was ennui. It's French? Oh, it's out of my vocabulary then. Usually if it's French, it's got like 17 letters and you only pronounce 3 of them. That always threw me off when I was trying to learn French. It just never worked out for me. French and I did not get along. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate the time that you've spent with me as much as it was kind of not really thick with too much knowledge towards the end. It was still fun to hang out with some people. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up and move on to the patron-only hangout, which we're trying to do every weekday. More bonuses. So if you like the stuff that we're doing, generally speaking, when there's good things to talk about, when there's good questions on the table, happy to do that. So there we go. So the one person who was upset that was only 20 minutes yesterday, we gave that one person an extra 5 minutes of something, which is better than nothing. Because that's if I would have had a chance to respond, I would have said, well, it's better than 19. Sometimes you gotta accept what people can do. Liz, what are you doing?
Trying to put the battery in the vlog.
Hand me the vlog camera. She's been wrestling with this for like 5 minutes. If you heard this clicking in the background. Oh, that's why. Because you have it the wrong way.
I had it the right way.
You had it the right way. There you go. See, dude, this is what I do. I do this in my sleep.
Almost 1,000 times now.
Almost, yeah. And then we're on the new vlog channel, which I hope everybody subscribed to. A lot more entertaining than what I'm doing right now. I can promise you that. The vlogs, if nothing else, I believe are the best things that I'm doing on my own. CPU episodes are the best things I think we're doing as a team, and TLDRs, of course, are fun thanks to you. If nobody told you today, I do love you. I do appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.